Hi guys, how are we doing? So if you're a regular viewer to the channel, you might notice a slight difference in the studio. So I thought I'd put a bit of effort in, spruce it up a little bit, give it beans, try and polish the show up a little bit. I hope you like it. Let me know a bit of feedback, or let me know what you think of the new attire. So obviously that was white before, and the desk was the other side, and I sat the other side. But I thought I'd set it up like this, and hopefully I could do a few more gear-related videos and give you my thoughts and feedback. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the Fujifilm X100V, my long-term review, we'll call it, thoughts. Is it an upgrade if you've already got a Fujifilm X100 series? Is it an upgrade? What do I think about it after having it? I bought it from the day it released. Yeah, I picked this up the day it was released. So yeah, I've had it quite a long time now, and it has been very, very well used. So if you watch the channel, you know how much I use this camera. If you don't watch the channel, perhaps hit the subscribe, that would be lovely, and let me know what you think of the video at the end. Before we get into that, I just want to yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to mention F8 magazine, my brand new project. So this is a street photography magazine, community magazine, so you can feature your images in this. Now this is issue 2. Issue 1 went live last month, so jump over to, I'll put the details in the bottom of the video down there. So check out F8 magazine, let me know what you think. It's absolutely, the feedback I've had from you guys who have already subscribed, oh yeah, thank you so much everybody that's subscribed, really amazing, tremendous feedback we've had so far, so we're really pleased with it. And yeah, it basically, we've got some featured cities, we've got interviews, we've got street photographers from all around the world. We've got different genres of photography, so there's the backstories as well behind all the images and everything in there, so you can learn from all the photographers what they saw in the image, what drew them to take the image as well. So yeah, do check out that F8 magazine. I'm very proud of it. Let me know what you think. Right then, the X100V. Okay, so I've had the X100S and the X100F, and I picked this up because of the three selling features for me were firstly, the brand new lens. Massive upgrade. I'd never really got on with the old lens because I used to use it commercially, so I used to like using it for like weddings and events, have it around my waist as an emergency camera. So I'd have my X2 III, my X-T4, my X Pro 2 or whatever as my main cameras, and then this meant that I always had a 35mm f2 lens around my shoulders, and it never got in the way because it's tiny. Now the sensor has always been amazing. Never had an issue with the X-T2 sensor, it was at the time. I never had an issue with it. So the upgrade was the optics. At f2, I never really felt that the lens was good enough for what I wanted, especially close enough. Now even at f4, I thought it struggled. So when they announced it was going to have a new lens, that was definitely my go-to thing. And it is amazing. Definitely. I mean, you can focus really close. 10 or 15 centimeters, no issues. F2, you get some lovely close-up shots. I've done some for a client last week, and they're really pleased with them, and they didn't know they were taking on this. So yeah, I really like the upgrade. The lens is night and day difference. From f2 to f14, I will confidently use this lens. Absolutely no issue. Now I use it for street photography mainly. I bought it as a street photography camera, so it's always between f8 and f11, maybe 5.6. So not often used for f2, so not a massive deal. For street photography, because I don't really do any shallow depth of field for street photography, just my commercial stuff and my sort of photographing my little and on holidays, that sort of thing. I love it at f2 then, to get some nice background blur, that sort of thing, and good in low light. So yeah, a massive difference now, the lens. Really happy with that. The other thing is with the lens is there's no weird characteristics with flare. I used to get the X100F was an amazing camera, I loved it. But with a few images, I actually can't decide whether or not the flare was a weird flare. It wasn't like a nice starburst or something like that, sunburst. It was a weird flare it used to give. So it sometimes made an image really charismatic, and it sometimes kind of got in the way. So I think I'd rather it had a cleaner, more natural, like the prime I'm filming on the 23 f2. Prime now on the Fuji X-H1, so that's a really nice lens and never ever give me any problems with flare. So this is a huge upgrade, so really pleased I'm not having issues with the flare. So the weather sealing was the other big deal. Now yes, you've got to have the UV filter. I've got the proper Fuji one, but I scratched the cheap Amazon one that I got when I bought the camera, because mine didn't arrive from Fuji, when I chopped the camera and dented it. So there was a scratch. And because that was only like £10 off Amazon, I thought I'd just stick to the cheap ones. Now that it's weather sealed, it's a proper street photography camera, because you go out in the rain, shoot an umbrella shot, shoot puddle shots if it's cold, or you haven't got to stop. And it's just so, I mean, I'd never ever trust anything other than a GoPro or my Osmo Action to be weatherproof. But it's nice to be able to go out and spend 10 minutes out in the rain and then run in and dry your camera off and go out back out again and not worry about it. Really, really, really nice. So now they've added the weather resistant body, and obviously with the UV filter, it's just a different camera. Really, really enjoy it. It means I don't have to bring two cameras if it's potentially going to rain. I would have bought the X-T3 before as a backup camera in case it starts raining. Don't need to do that now. Massive, massive deal. The other thing, didn't really think it was going to be a big deal for me, is the flip out touch screen. Now, it's brilliant. It isn't something I thought I was going to use the camera for, because I don't do my street photography like this from waist level or on the ground. I'm always shooting with the EVF or the OVF at night. So I didn't think I was going to use the screen. I thought it would be more something that Gareth, my missus, uses, because she'd obviously like to use the touch screen and just shoot like that if she's on holiday, wants to get some snaps of Ellis or something like that. But it's brilliant. You can get the camera low to the floor, you can stick that out, you can do discrete shots. It's absolutely brilliant. I couldn't be happier with the tilt screen on it. It's just perfect. The touch screen on it as well is brilliant. It's never missed a beat. So really, really happy. No issues whatsoever with the touch screen. Fantastic. Yeah, so the screen on it, I wish it tilted out like the X-T3 one does, but perhaps that would make it a bit thicker. But the other good thing about it is when it's flush, if you didn't want a touch screen, you can't feel it. It's absolutely flush to the back of the camera. Yeah, super, super pleased with the touchscreen on it. It's absolutely brilliant with the tilt screen. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So yeah, don't change that. Don't give us the X Pro 3 screen on the new version. Stick to this. It's just superb. Love the ISO dial. You lift the ISO dial. We don't even have to drop it. You can just keep the ISO wheel like that. So on the fly, you can just adjust the ISO wheel like that. Absolutely brilliant. You don't have to lift and hold it and twist it or assign it to one of the dials there on the back. I used to have my ISO dial assigned to one of these two dials. Now you don't need to do that. It's just there. I've always got my shutter at ISO 500. I've always got my aperture at f8. So all I've got to do is tweak the ISO just to keep the histogram where I want it to be, and it's job done. I hit the shutter. Couldn't be happy with that. It's a fantastic system. Love it to bits. Love it to bits. Thank you for that, Fuji. The other thing is, because of the weather sealing now, I can use this as a hiking camera, because I've assigned that button there. When I go hiking, I assign that button to the ND4, so it's got a built-in ND filter. Stick a polarizer on the front, and literally is a 35-minute pocket powerhouse. It's unbelievable. Press that button if I'm near a waterfall or something. I can slow the amount of light coming into the camera, and I can get some nice slow shutters of water. Absolutely brilliant. Adore the built-in ND on this. It's just ND4, I believe it is. It's so handy. It's really handy now because I use this sometimes as an emergency video camera, because it's a 35mm, great emergency camera for run out of cameras and I need another angle. If I'm outside, I can slow the shutter down with a built-in ND as well. Absolutely perfect. Within 6 months, it probably saved me 10 times. Yeah, it's so handy as a video camera. 4K on it is stunning, as you know. It's same as all the Fuji cameras. The video facility on it is absolutely amazing. Not that I always use it in manual focus for video. Wouldn't trust it for auto focusing or tracking, but manual focus, absolutely no issue whatsoever. That was something the X100F, you would always notice that you'd gone to the X100F for the emergency footage. You could always tell there's a slight difference in the optics. But yeah, other than that, absolutely brilliant. The other thing is the simple design. They've got rid of the buttons. Absolutely brilliant. I set my camera up before I go shooting, so once I'm set up, I don't need any of these buttons anyway. It's nice just to have somewhere to rest your hand, and yeah, absolutely brilliant. I've got my aperture, my ISO, my shutter speed, everything I need. I don't need any to get into the menu. If I do, the Q button is out the way. Absolutely fantastic. Couldn't be happy with that. So the design on it made it a huge improvement anyway. The only thing I don't like about the design is they've got rid of the change view button. Now that that does get in the way sometimes, but it's in the menu, so you can assign it to your queue menu, so you can change the queue menu and put it in there, I suppose, but I at least assume you can. Yeah, that would be nice. I think I probably need to look at, I'd like another customizable button. I think that's the only thing I'd like. I don't know where they'd put it, but it needs another customizable button. I really don't know where. I mean, I don't know if there's room there to put it in, but just another button, just so that you can change the light that's going off now. Sometimes you want it just to be on the LCD. So that's just one small thing that I wish I perhaps for the new version I'd like. So what don't I like about the camera? There isn't much. It's very, very close to being my favourite ever camera. The X Pro 2 still holds that. Still got a soft spot for my X Pro 2. But yeah, I really, really love holding it. I love using it. It's fantastic. As a travel camera, I can't. I'd love to use this when we go on holiday travel. It's just a perfect camera. I absolutely love it. I love the 35mm. It goes around your. I've got like a Peak Design strap. It goes around there. Very, very lightweight. Don't notice it, and it doesn't sort of bang on your arm as you're walking, that sort of thing. So it's superb. Tiny little pancake lens. Can't fault it. The only thing is, it hasn't got second card slot or built-in memory, and I just want to know why cameras these days with one card slot. That one card slot isn't the issue. If they put a built-in redundancy memory or something like that, an emergency memory, just a tiny little hard drive, 64 gig, 128 gig, that sort of thing. Just something, not for video, just for stills, because, you know, I've had a few cards go over the years, and yeah, it goes in there with the battery, single card slot. And on holiday, you've got that dilemma. Shall I take one card, or shall I take many cards and swap them every couple of days so you don't lose the footage, so you don't lose your travel snaps? Because I love this as a travel camera, and if it did have that, there's no reason why you couldn't use it professionally, because I've done a few weddings and events with this camera because it's so nice to use, and I've always got it on me. So yeah, this has been very, very handy. I just wish it had some way of getting second memory in there. That would be absolutely fantastic, and that would in itself be an upgrade. That one feature would make me buy the X100V or whatever you want to call it. I would love that second memory option. That really would be handy, because it's always a gamble, isn't it, going out of one card slot. So the other thing I don't like is the AF switch. I know a lot of people really, really like it. I bought this camera for street photography, back button focus, manual focus, f8, either 2 meters in front or infinity, whatever. That was why I bought the camera. So I didn't intend to ever use it in single or continuous. It's only because it's so good that you can actually use it in single and continuous. It's really, really good. And it just means that to go from one to the next, it's a bit of a faff to get from one to the next. I just, like, Gareth can do it because you can use a nail, but to go to from single to continuous is just a bit of to try and do that there, I just find myself going from single to manual all the time, and I love the XT. On the XT you've got that dial there on the front, and I wish they could put that dial there. I know it would ruin the aesthetics of the pretty little camera, but yeah, and it is beautiful, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's a beautiful camera, but I just wish it had that dial there just to make switching between the settings easier. That would be fantastic. Not that they're going to listen to me, but I would really, really like that. Right then, a big bugbear of mine is actually the weather sealing and the fact that you've got to use this UV filter on the front. Now, that's fine if you're doing street photography, normal conditions, the camera's not changing temperature or anything like that. But when it gets cold and you think, well, okay, let's take a photograph of this waterfall, or it starts to rain or anything like that, and you put the UV filter on the top, it actually condensates sometimes on the inside. Now, that's not a big deal because it's only happened to me when I've gone to places like Snowdonia, excuse me, and that's happened a few times then. And there's nothing you can do about it because you have to take the filter off, clean it, and put it back on. Now, it's a small deal, and obviously they're not going to redesign the lens, are they? Because they've only just put a new one on there, and most of you, 99% of you, are probably never going to experience that. But yeah, unless anybody knows of a way, if I'm doing something wrong, if there's a way of actually not having the condensation, because that front glass does create something on the inside, and that is something I'm aware of. And yeah, sometimes it's worth, like, okay, it's raining, but I can't put the UV filter on because it will steam up, that sort of thing. If you're aware of it, it's not such a big problem, is it? But yeah, it does happen. So be aware of it. Okay, another thing, a small thing, because I didn't buy this camera to be used in continuous focus really, but because of how good it is in continuous focus, the missus actually puts it in if we're out and about and Ellis is doing something, obviously something's happening, she'd put it in continuous focus, touch the screen of where he is, and it will just follow him. Now it says it gets his face, it says it gets his eye, it does all that, and we get the green box, and it does miss. And it's not always at like f2 or f2.8, it does miss at different apertures as well. So it's more for the way Gareth shoots than I shoot, because obviously I'll back button focus and anticipate where I'll pre-focus zone where he's going to be. But yeah, it would be nice if they could fix the continuous focus on this, because it does on occasion miss, and even when it says it's got the eye, it says it's got the face and stuff like that. So I would like it, but as I said, I didn't buy this camera for that, so it's kind of like the wrong camera to be using for that in a way. Yeah, but yeah, a small thing, that might not affect you at all. Right, big deal for a lot of you guys, and I get a lot of people messaging me on this all the time, is the app. Fuji's app, the infamous Fujifilm app, just doesn't work. Now, it doesn't work on any of my cameras. I think the X Pro 2 actually was the only camera the Fujifilm app ever used to work reliably on. And what I found a little tip was, if you open the app and then you go in to use the app as an actual shutter release as opposed to try and get your photographs, if you actually try and use the app as a shutter, take a picture, then go out of that, then try and look at the photographs through the app, then it works. But if you just go straight in to try and get the photographs off the camera, it doesn't work. You have to try and take a photograph first with the app, if that makes any sense. So just use your phone, take a photograph, then look at the pictures and you get them. It does work a bit better like that. But the X100 is the only camera out of all my Fuji cameras. I've got X-T3, I've got X-T4, X Pro, probably another one, XH1, and it's the only camera that I actually want to use the app on. Because if you're out doing street photography, I'd love to be able to sit in a coffee shop, when we're allowed, and go through the pictures. Or if I take a photograph of somebody out and about and I think, oh yeah, I'll send you that photograph, it'd be lovely to be able to do it there and then, and just chuck it over to my phone and send it to his Instagram or whatever there and then. I'd love to be able to do that, as opposed to forgetting when I get back. And it's the only camera I'd love the app to work on. So one day Fujifilm's app will work, but this is the only camera I'd really love the app to work on, or just some more reliable way of transferring the images to your phone. I don't really want to do any editing. I just want to get the photographs off it. Yeah, JPEGs would be brilliant. A small thing for me, I say it's a small thing. It's an amazing camera and I wouldn't really want to change much on it. So I don't mean to sound like I'm knocking it, but the EVF, I'd love a better EVF. I think whatever 3 million megapixels or 3 million pixels, whatever it is, I think if they do bring out a new camera, I really hope it's got a better EVF, mainly for low light, but just the sharpness and the overall picture quality in the EVF I think needs updating. Yeah, I just find it's quite a small EVF as well, and I don't know, maybe I haven't got an X Pro 3, maybe the X Pro 3 is a better one, but maybe that's the difference between the X Pro 3 and the X100V. I don't know, but I really would love a better res EVF, especially for low light. That isn't a massive deal, because in low light I'll just flick the switch on the front and I'll go to the optical viewfinder, which I really enjoy using. In low light I really enjoy the optical viewfinder. I know a lot of people don't actually bother with it, but I really enjoy it, especially at night. It's fantastic. Try it. I love it. So yeah, the EVF and low light, I'd love them to improve that, but it's not a big deal. The other thing I would really like, and this is only since I've started shooting more with IBIS on the X-T4, but if they could improve, if they're not going to obviously, but if they could put an iOS lens in this, it would be amazing. Just that extra stop, because if you're shooting in low light and you want to go down to like 40th of a second, or if you put the ND on and you buy some water and you want to get I just think that even like if as an emergency camera, if you've got an ND on there and image stabilized lens, you could film with this handheld and get stabilized lens at 50th of a second and you'd be all right. Or like I've done handheld waterfall shots with this and gone down to 50th of a second. It'd be nice to go down to about 15th of a second, keeping the camera still, because you've got a leaf shutter, so you can go 2 second timer, 3, 2, 1, bang. So if you had a nice image stabilized lens, that would be amazing. But that is all. Other than that, it's a phenomenal camera. I am super pleased with it, and it would literally have to be what I've listed for me to need to change the camera. The sensor's perfect, the lens is perfect, even the battery on this seems to last really well, and that's saying something for the old Fuji 126XS batteries. So don't have an issue with the battery. It's brilliant. I'm really, really happy. And if I did mention it before, this is the JJC cheap X100V grip off Amazon, dead cheap. I'll put a link in the description if you want to pick up one of them. I've got massive hands, so I find that after a while these are difficult to hold, so the grip is a massive help. I've got a Peak Design leash wrist strap which goes around my wrist. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, walk around camera, it's absolutely fantastic. I really can't rate it enough, to be honest. I absolutely adore it. I love the fixed 35mm lens. It's a camera that I keep on my shelf there, always ready. If Gareth wants to come in and grab a camera, there's always a battery in it, there's always a memory card in it. She knows how to use it. She can put it onto auto there, she can put it onto auto there, and she's good to go. She just pick it up and go bang, bang, bang. She's, you know, I've got the shutter set so it'll focus when it's on single or continuous, so she can use the camera as well. It's just a go-to. If I go anywhere, we can grab this camera. If we go out and about, I literally just put a strap on it. It goes around, and we don't feel like we're carrying a camera with us. Go inside a coat if it gets raining. It's just absolutely brilliant. I couldn't be happy with it, really. It's a really remarkable camera. It actually has taken some of our favourite, most important photographs of Ellis as well over the years, especially through lockdown. We've taken a billion pictures on this camera. Some of our most cherished photographs have definitely been taken with this camera. So check out my Instagram, you'll see a million of them. But anyway, I'll leave you go there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it hasn't gone on too long. I'm super thrilled with the camera. It's a massive upgrade in my opinion. And yeah, if you are thinking about picking one up, they are stunning. And I went for the silver, and I'm not sure if I regret it, because for street photography it does stick out a little bit, but isn't it the most amazing silver? It is. And when it fell and that dented there, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but it's no scratch on the camera. So the durability, even though it dented there's no scratch on the camera at all. That silver is super tough on what they've made it out, but it is beautiful. Really pleased. Anyway, yeah, as I said, do check out F8 magazine. I couldn't be more pleased with the response. I'm so proud of it. Let me know if you've got one and what you think of it, and if you'd like to feature in F8 magazine, use the hashtag F8StreetMag or street_gat. Follow us on Instagram and join the street photography creators group on Facebook and get involved, and we might be able to feature your image or even an interview in the book. But anyway guys, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the mini review, my first attempt at a review. Hopefully I'll do more as time goes on as well. So yeah, let me know also feedback with there's going to be pictures going up on the walls there as well. So there'll be a big picture there, street photography and landscape photography up on the back. So there'll be some pictures coming up soon. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll see you again soon. Take care guys. Thanks for watching.